Me quickly. Rivers United Shooting Stars. Do you think that Shooting Stars can avoid defeat at the Adoke Amesimaka Stadium on Sunday?
I do not. I do not. Let's look at Rivers United statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they drew their first game against the defending champion.
Yeah.
They the current champion. They won
Yeah,
their
they are still
game.
the defending
Yeah,
champion.
they won their game. They won their game week 2 match likewise, and they will also be playing at home this time around against Shooting Stars.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see us winning. We might get a goal, we might not, but I do not see us winning
Wow.
at all.
Interesting. So, for Shooting Stars, I think drastic steps have to be taken so that they will not continue to linger or continue to, swim in relegation. Relegation waters. When you are 15, you should be wary of what is coming right next. All right. So, let's move straight into the mood of qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Of course, there have been a lot of talks as to how Nigeria can definitely make it to the FIFA World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And apparently, we're going to be taking some excerpt. But first, let's consider what former Nigerian coach Samson Siasia said. He advised Super Eagles coach Eriche to maximize Ademola Lookman's set piece ability and, of course, the physical presence of Tolu Arokodare when they face South Africa today. He said the result against Rwanda should boost confidence, but also warned that South Africans who have won 4 straight qualifiers for the first time since 2002 will be a formidable opponent. Do you think that
Lookman's set piece
ability?
ability. I don't think
I
I've
think he can
seen.
strike the ball so hard.
Yeah, he can strike the ball so hard, but I've not seen so much from him, regarding set pieces. And I don't think he has had any assist so far in this World Cup qualifier with set piece. So I would not say so much. But I know of Nwobi, it's clear. I've seen in times to down number, but I also would like to agree with Siasa about us using set piece as a weapon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Osime will not be available. We know how good he is, in the air. But Tolu Arokodare has shown exactly the same resilience, the same energy that Osime would naturally display on the pitch of play. So I think it's something that we can bank on. But at the end of the day, it depends on what South Africa or who can lay down his or her tactics on the ground. We know South Africa as a team that would want to put the ball on the ground to play amongst themselves. Can we, successfully do likewise? Looking at what we played against Rwanda, our coach feeding 2 DMs who cannot even progress the ball against a Rwanda side, and we struggling to get a goal. I just hope he does not make the same mistake against South Africa. We have nothing to lose. Put the best.
He's talking. Samuel Chukwueze is also speaking. So let's listen to the players. Then we take the voices of the two coaches, Eric Chell of Nigeria and Hugo Bruce of South Africa. These are the Super Eagles players speaking ahead of their showdown this evening against the Bafana Bafana of South Africa. Of course, Samuel Chukwueze and Stanley Nwabali. We'll be right back.
South Africa is a strong team. They have a good team also. They are first in the group. We are Nigerian, so and we have a good team also. So can compete with them. I think we, by the grace of God, we want a good result here. The most important thing for us to come here and win. We are looking focused on that. We'll be at the World Cup. It's 100% sure, but we all just need all Nigerian support for us. It's not one person now rooting for us. But it's up to us to make it because I believe in this team. We have so many great talents and we have to qualify. That's the most important thing.
I feel like we have a very strong squad to match any country, and I feel like I don't see like a really big team to us, but I know we respect them. They are doing well, even top in the group. But I feel like even though it's going to be a tough game tomorrow, but I feel like we're going to come out strong. Yeah, you know, every game has its own plan. You say you might be watching against them against Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, some other thing. But when it comes to Nigeria, his different approach, and likewise other countries coming to play against Nigeria. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a tough game tomorrow. But I really feel that we're gonna win it.
Stanley Wabali and Samuel Chukwueze really feeling like the Super Eagles will win this evening. But in the meantime, we've got to listen to the voices of the coaches as well. The Super Eagles coach, Richard, says his team will not dwell on the absence of Victor Osimhen, and he says they are really focused on how to get the maximum points against the South Africans, even away from home in this evening's encounter.
We are focused on our game plan and focus about my player. And I know something. The team of South Africa is a very good team. You have a lot of good players. I like your coach. He's a very good coach and his technical staff. So, like I said earlier, we know that this is a big game. So, I'm really happy to play this game. Like my players, we are happy, and this is the moment to do a great game. I'm just a coach, I lead my team. What happened around my team and around this game you talk about the yellow card. There is an organization. This organization, this name is FIFA. So FIFA need to manage it. Now, this is not my problem. Now, my problem is my players first, because they are focused. They want to make once again a great game here, and after that, just think about our game and not what happened around the game and around the story. Osimhen is a big star. He's a very good player. Like I said, I have a big group too. I have some big player in my head with me, in my side. They are more than player for me. And for sure, I can tell you something. They want to play a great game here, once again.
This game will be
That was the Super Eagles head coach Richard talking tough concerning the game that will be played this evening against South Africa. Let's also hear this man speak, because, of course, Hugo Broos, the head coach of the Bafana, they're also warning that it's going to be a very big mistake to think that they are in pole position to qualify for the next World Cup, knowing fully well that Nigeria is also a very, very big gun in African football. This is head coach of South Africa, Hugo Broos.
Match was played that Nigeria and we were maybe favourite to win the group, and now we are in a situation that I didn't really expect from the beginning. 6 points ahead of Nigeria, 5 points ahead on Benin, and that with 3 games to play. So that means that we are in a good position, but it's still not finished. I think it should be a big mistake from our side to think now that nothing can happen again. It's up to us to play a very good game against a very good team, who maybe will play his last chance tomorrow. If Nigeria is not winning, then they are in very big problems, so the pressure is on them. But that doesn't mean that we know that it will be a tough game. We will try to win it, like we do always, every game. And if we can, it should be a very good result.
That was Hugo Bruce of South Africa. Say the pressure definitely will be on Nigeria, but that doesn't mean that they should be lackadaisical, especially in their approach to that game. Simi, talk to me, gentlemen. This game for Nigeria is a make or ma game. Nigeria should take it. That should be the approach for Nigeria, by the way. And having listened to both coaches, of course, the only thing we can pick or extract from that excerpt from Eric Chell is just the fact that Nigeria is going all out to ensure that they come back with the maximum point. And for Hugo Bruce, he talked about complacency, how they are not supposed to be complacent, not because just because they see themselves to be in pole position to qualify automatically from that group. What do you make of this excerpt from these coaches?
I mean, one coach has an equivalent task at hand. The other just needs to, drag out draws mostly.
But as a coach, you approach a game with the mindset of just getting a draw.
Definitely.
What if at the end of the day you are not able to get a draw and you end up being defeated?
You do not approach this game with a draw. But at the moment, South Africa are clear favourites and even in better positions to do as they like. They would be playing their remainder of their games at home in South Africa, which is a big advantage. For Nigeria, as Hugo rightly said, we have the pressure. We are the one on more pressure compared to South Africa. We need to win. It's compulsory we win. But for South Africa, they don't need to win, which is very, very dicey and annoying because they can as well frustrate.
But South Africa, if you look at a team on form,
Yes.
and a team, perhaps Nigeria, not bad, but for South Africa, they've won 4 games on the bounce.
Yes.
Nigeria, kind of good, not bad.
Yeah.
Which team do you think would nail this one? Looking at the form of the teams.
Based on form, you want to go with South Africa. But then you can argue that majority of their first team players would not be involved in this game. From reports, about 10 players, I think, are out injured. But the peculiar thing about the squad itself is they've been able to replace these players with like-for-like players from the local leagues who can offer similar quality to their first team players. Why? Because they have a style on ground, they have a pattern, they have a culture on ground that they follow, and each of these players can easily fit into it compared to Nigeria, where you have multiple styles here and there, players with different style of football. So for form and advantage and the likes, South Africa clearly has the advantage, and I feel they
Has 4 draws, 2
wins.
2 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss. So it's not really good for Nigeria. They've managed just 2 wins. They've got so many things to actually play for. But on the other hand, a home victory would almost certainly put South Africa in the World Cup. And it's going to be their first appearance since 2010 when they hosted it. Happen tonight.
Honestly, I do not want to make a prediction. I would rather not make a prediction, but let's just hope.
Victor Osimhen is out.
Yes,
That's longer news.
but Tolu will be available. So let's just hope we win. Let's hope we win. I don't want to make a prediction.
The very first time
Yeah.
I cannot see on my guy's face that Nigeria will win a game. He's not a happy man, and he's very, to be sincere, yes, he has the right to feel that way because everybody wants the good. Uzbekistan have made it from Oceania. New Zealand has made it. South America, Argentina by a lone goal. Namibia are suffering at the hands of Sao Tome and Principe by 3 goals. Sierra Leone are beating Ethiopia currently. They're in the 17th minute 1-0. Burkina Faso will face Egypt by 5 p.m. today. Togo will play Sudan by 5 p.m. as well. DR Congo will face Senegal by 5 p.m. In fact, Cape Verde and Cameroon will also be trading tackles by 5 p.m. But other games like Mauritania against South Sudan, Gabon facing Ivory Coast, Benin against Lesotho, Angola playing Mauritius, and Gambia playing Burundi. All these matches will be played by 8 p.m. Remember, South Africa, Nigeria, and Bloemfontein is 5 p.m. Okay, so we'll leave it at that because we also have to monitor some other events going on across the world. Let's also confirm to you that UEFA qualification series for the World Cup is also ongoing. By 5 p.m. today, Azerbaijan in Group D will be locking arms with Ukraine, and by 7:45, France will be facing Iceland. In Group F of the UEFA qualification series for the World Cup, Armenia by 5 p.m. will face Ireland, while Hungary will be playing Portugal by 7:45 p.m. In Group H, Bosnia and Herzegovina will play Austria by 7:45, just as when Cyprus will also be having a showdown with Romania. In Group I, Norway by 7:45 p.m. tonight against Moldova. And in Group K, it's going to be Albania against Latvia by 7:45 p.m., just as when Serbia will also be trading tackles with England. So those are the matches that will go down today in the UEFA qualification series for the next edition of the FIFA World Cup. So let's treat an issue very quickly, Simi. Former Super Eagles midfielder, I'm talking about Haruna Lukman. He says he will never recommend any of his siblings to play in the Nigerian league. He has his reasons. He was speaking recently in an interview, and he said the Nigerian league is characterized by match fixing. He said there was a recent match between Rivers FC and Ikorodu City. He said that particular game, he was there at the Onikon Stadium, and he said what he witnessed was match fixing at its very peak. Let me quote him. Haruna Lukman said, I quote, "The Nigeria Premier League is very poor. I'm very sorry to say they do not respect the senior ones who played in Europe, because coming down to play in Nigeria, they need to show some respect. It is not easy to win something abroad. And when you decide to come back home to play, they offer you peanut. For me, Nigerian League is out of it because I don't see the Nigerian League as a league. I watched the competition they played at Onikon. It was my first time witnessing it. I went to watch Rivers against Ikorodu City. I sat down at the VIP and witnessed all sort of match fixing by the referees, favoring one team against the other. I can't advise any of my siblings or any of my siblings to play in the Nigerian League." Well, okay, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, that was a bold allegation.
Bold allegation, very strong, weighty
Yeah.
allegations.
Against the NPFL, match fixing. Honestly, you can say yes, bad refereeing. That
We also get some bad referees even abroad.
That is arguable.
But is that
But
enough for
that
you
is
to
not
now say
enough.
you will not?
That's not enough concrete evidence to say the NPFL is involved in match fixing, or some teams are
Or
involved
you
in
not
match
even
fixing.
allow any of your siblings to play in the Nigerian league?
I mean, there are other reasons why you might not, but using that as a major excuse for me is not tenable. It's definitely not tenable. You can argue, okay, the salary, you can argue contracts, you can argue visibility. Yes, all those can be argued as to reasons why you would not want your siblings to, also play in the NPFL. But using a match fixing as an excuse,
I remember when it burst to the scene, that was in 2007. They were boys of the late former coach, Yemi Taylor. He took them to the World Cup. I think I've forgotten the country where that World Cup, under 17 World Cup was playing then. They did very well. They won it. Yes, they won it.
Yeah.
The former Shooting Stars goalkeeper was a goalkeeper. Wow. I don't think I can remember the names of these guys, but I do know that Chris Santos was a striker.
yeah,
Aruna himself got injured in the first match, so it was Rabi Ibrahim.
I remember.
Rabi Ibrahim was the midfielder, which he was part of the team that year. Ganiyo Seni was part of the team that year. Ganiyo Seni also, he used to play for Shooting Stars in Ibadan here. Those guys were very, very good footballers at the time. Said Kasper Holmand as coach, replacing Erik ten Hag, who was fired after just 2 league games in charge. He has been appointed on a contract until 2027. The appointment of Erik ten Hag ends a chaotic fortnight. The sack of Erik ten Hag ends a chaotic fortnight for Leverkusen, who sacked former Manchester United Erik ten Hag on the 1st of September, just 2 games into the Bundesliga season. I think we saw this coming. When Erik ten Hag started playing preseason matches, he was losing to the youth side of
Flamingo.
Flamengo in Brazil. So we saw it coming, and I don't know what is happening to former Manchester United coaches. Mourinho got fired.
Yeah.
Erik ten
Ole
Hag got
Gunnar.
fired. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer
Yeah.
got fired even at Besiktas
Yeah.
in Turkey. I'm not sure Ruben Amorim, who is there right now, who is at the helm at Old Trafford, will not be fired eventually. Because, according to reports, they said right from day one, he never had good rapport with
With the players.
the players, the fans, even the hierarchy at the club. So eventually he had to be fired. Coming back to what is happening in the English Premier League, Nuno Espirito Santo has been sacked. Forest made this known in a statement last night. The 51-year-old, who was handed a new contract this summer after guiding Forest to the Europa League, said in August his relationship with co-owner Evangelos Marinakis was not the same and not so good as it was last season. Of course, as of this morning when I was reporting on Sports Spectra, no one has been engaged or appointed as the new coach of the side, because in the morning I mentioned names like Anthony Irola of Bournemouth, Mauricio Pochettino of the USA, Marco Silva of Fulham. They said those ones are or were admired by Forest hierarchy. But at the end of the day, a few hours ago, we got confirmation that yes, former Tottenham Hotspur boss Ange Postecoglou has now been hired as the new head coach of Nottingham Forest. First of all, I'd like to ask you, Simi, about the journey of Nuno Espirito Santo at Nottingham Forest. There are those who say, yes, it's Nottingham Forest 3.0, knowing fully well that it was Steve Cooper who brought them from the Championship to the Premier League.
Yes.
Steve Cooper couldn't sustain the tempo. They had to bring Nuno Espirito Santo. Of course, he got that qualification to go play in Europe for them.
Yeah.
So they felt they needed someone else to also steady the ship. Perhaps, and we do know that one thing that Marinakis wants right now is to begin to win trophies. And they say, this man, Ange Postecoglou, because he said he has a good track record of winning. So perhaps he won against Manchester United, he won the
We won the Europa.
so he will win trophies for them. For Nuno Espirito Santo, remember, they were supposed to be relegated, I think, was it last season or 2 seasons ago?
2 seasons
He,
ago.
he rescued them,
Yes.
qualified them for Europe. In fact, they were one of the best teams last season in the
Yes.
Premier League.
Yes.
But eventually they had to fire him.
For no, he has done a good job with Nottingham Forest, no doubt. I mean, in every club that he has gone to, in every club he has been at, maybe except Tottenham, he has done beautifully well, from Wolves, and even now at
Wolves.
Nottingham Forest.
I think he was more popular with Wolves.
Very, very popular. I mean, we know how good he was as the coach, and how tactical those players were. And so, for Postecoglou, I don't think the point of Marinakis bringing in Postecoglou as the serial winner to get them trophies is a bit questionable for me. I would say for Nuno
They are
Espirito,
both Greeks.
well, maybe, but I feel like they've grown out of love for each other. Because starting from the game where Marinakis had to come to the
Stadium,
touchline,
yeah.
yes, we know the history behind it, and then bringing in Edu as the sporting director, which Nuno did not like. According to him, he felt he was not consulted.
Especially in the area of transfers.
Yeah, in the area of transfers, the players that they brought in, he was not favoring them, or he did not want them. And then him not being carried along, them not signing enough, all these things.
The relationship became sour.
Yeah, the relationship became sour. And when the relationship becomes sour, then definitely they'll have to part ways. But for Postecoglou, I wish him success. But I just hope he's able to tweak his tactics. You know, at Nottingham Forest, you cannot just be going all attack, you know, in every single game. For
If a coach who was at Tottenham could finish 17th and eventually win the Europa League, would that coach, or should that coach be seen as good enough to maintain or to sustain the kind and the brand of football and the kind of expectation that they now have at the at Nottingham Forest?
I would want to believe the situation at Tottenham Hotspur was a one-off, because the season before he was not doing badly. I believe he finished in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. Finished in the top 5 or top 6. He got the job done. He was winning games. He started well with them, and even at Celtic, he was doing well. Likewise, he won trophies.
Yeah.
Second season with Tottenham, despite the bad performances, which could be excused to some certain points due to injuries, even though he also has his own part to play, I believe we could say it is a one-off. And then I believe we would also have learned from that situation at Tottenham Hotspur that you cannot keep to one style of football with a particular team and expect not to get hurt even when you have injuries upon injuries. For Nuno at Nottingham Forest, he had ways around it. He had mid blocks. He was tactically sound. He could hit you on the counter attack. He could set up a mid block. He could go all out against you, and he will get the job done. For Postecoglou, is all attack. We saw we saw tweaks at the Europa final with Manchester United. He was more conservative. He was setting up mid blocks. He was tactically sound. He was setting low blocks.
What gives you the assurance that he's going to be a successful manager at the City ground? Knowing fully well that he's also a main manager. He comes out in the public to talk about things he's not happy with, just like Nuno also did.
Yeah.
While at Nottingham Forest, I remember after that issue you talked about, which happened last season, before the commencement of this season, he also did. He said he doesn't like the kind of business the team has been doing.
Yeah.
And within the space of 7 days, he spoke out twice, which, according to report, did not go down well with Evangelos Marinakis. And eventually, he had to be fired. Now, what is giving you that assurance that Ange will be a successful manager at the City ground?
Honestly, nothing. But just based on relationship with other clubs, I mean, for Postecoglou to have been able to, remain as level head with Daniel Levy in Tottenham, I think he should be able to manage himself with Evangelos at Nottingham Forest. Okay.
22 defeats from 38 games at Tottenham Hotspur. We'll see how it's going to fare. Manchester City and the Premier League have reached a settlement in their dispute over the rules governing associated party transactions. So how did this apparently happen? This is quite different. So, this is different from the normal issue that they have with the Premier League, 100 charges, more than 100 charges that they have with the Premier League. That's quite different. Now, talking about the explainer for this particular APT issue, I think it's very significant. Just like everybody has been saying that Manchester City, they're not going to sanction them. I think we have seen the first phase now. They had issue with the APT.
Yeah.
They won. It started back in 2020. I think 2023. Man City wanted to do a new sponsorship deal with Etihad Airways and one of the groups in Abu Dhabi. So they submitted some key elements of the transactions and, of course, the APT rules they were to follow. And, of course, Man City said at the time that, yes, this is the proposal. We want to do this date, but the Premier League blocked it, saying that it didn't follow the APT rules and the rules of the Premier League. So those deals were blocked at the time. So City, we were told that the independent body found the rules unlawful. So after that, City went to challenge it again, and they said, okay, the Premier League should go and review. Now they came back to tell us that they have settled everything, no issue. Does this give us a cue into what is going to happen or what may likely become the outcome of the hearing that the Premier League has refused to give us or announce the outcome?
I think so because we've seen cases, especially